Since one of my subscribers asked me about books that can help us boost motivation while being in a state of uncertainty and doubt, I will share 4 books with you that gave me self-confidence and motivation to keep on going while being uncertain, in doubt, or anxious. Big thanks to my subscriber Mohib for bringing up that topic. I think this will help a lot of other people as well because all of us are facing this challenge. Alright, let's dive right in. Out of all the books I've read so far, the one that came immediately to my mind was How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. It basically shows how to live in the now without worrying about the future, what might happen, and it provides some very good anti-worry techniques. And I think this is a great book to start if you feel paralyzed by something like worry or uncertainty. The first very good idea that comes up in the book is to live in day-tight compartments. It's about doing the work that lies clearly at hand today, without thinking about what lies dimly in the distance. Because the best and only way to prepare for tomorrow is to concentrate on today's work. And actually that's what I say all the time, little daily steps and habits which we can focus on within a day will bring you momentum and makes you feel in control instead of waiting for something big to happen in the future. And that will most likely reduce the feeling of uncertainty or feeling overwhelmed because you feel in control, because you actually did something today to prepare for tomorrow. The second idea is what Dale calls the magic formula for solving worry problems. The problem is worry won't get you anywhere because it will paralyze you in a situation where you need energy and creativity. And Willis Carrier, an entrepreneur from the 80s, figured out an anti-worry technique for himself. It's very simple, anyone can use it, and it only consists of 3 steps. The first step is asking yourself, what's the worst thing that can possibly happen? Is someone going to jail you? Someone going to shoot you? Will you lose your current job? Will you lose a lot of money? Will your friends or family laugh at you? Just analyze the situation very honestly. Step 2 is accept the worst case scenario if necessary. For example, you tell yourself, if this failure happens, I will lose my job. All my friends will laugh at me. My family will be disappointed. First, these things are very unlikely to happen because so far they are only a story in your head. But what about the 1% chance they would actually happen? Most likely you will find another job. Most likely your friends will still be your friends. Most likely your family won't abandon you and will still love you. After accepting the worst case scenario, most people feel some kind of relief and peace because the worst case scenario isn't the end of the world. And then step 3, try to improve on the worst case scenario which you already have accepted mentally. This could mean figuring out ways to minimize your loss, which leads you into thinking in possibilities and chances instead of being paralyzed by worry. And that's exactly the power of this technique. We're no longer blinded by worry, we feel some kind of relief, and we think in solutions and not in problems. The third idea from this book is the law of averages. As I just said, 99% of the things we worry about won't actually happen. By the law of averages, there's no justification for these worries, which actually reminds me of a Stoic saying that says, we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. And I think that's totally true. Just think about it. How often did a story you tell yourself in your head, in your thoughts, actually become reality? Probably not very often until you're a very, very good fortune teller. And as a little fact, actually that's how insurance companies make their money. They are betting people that the disasters they worry about will never actually happen. Just don't call it betting, they call it insurance. And since this is a billion-dollar industry, I guess they must be right. The second book that really helped me is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. This book isn't just about how to be an artist in the digital age, it's about being consistent, overcoming the fear of judgment, and being yourself and showing that on camera. And the first idea that really stuck with me here is think process, not end result. Overnight success is a myth. Almost every overnight success story has about a decade's worth of hard work behind it. And we hugely underestimate that building something substantial just takes a long time. Because on social media, there just seem to be so many get-rich-quick stories, we believe. And to not feel overwhelmed by all that stuff, Kleon suggests that we should forget about years, forget about months, and focus on days, because the day has a rhythm we can actually handle. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. And when we focus on days, results will add up and compound. Very similar to the idea to live in day-tight compartments. The second idea from this book gave me a huge mindset shift and is about the surgeon's law. We often worry about our projects not being perfect, and sometimes we worry so much that we won't even start. But what surgeon's law tells us is that actually 90% of everything is crap. And the huge trouble is we as creators don't always know what's good and what sucks. So it's important to just execute and get things in front of other people to see how they react, to see how they feel about it. Because sometimes you just don't know what is actually good. So just execute, get things out, get things in front of other people. Even if the project is not perfect in your eyes, to someone it might be amazing. And the last idea from this book is believe in your taste. We all carry around the weird and wonderful things we've come across while doing our work and living our lives. So our tastes make us who we are, because mostly we find our path through life through our tastes. Then we start pursuing that path, probably get to some obstacles, and then we feel in doubt. But our taste is the thing that got us here. Our taste is still killer. So if we stick with that, we will be rewarded. And another thing Austin Kleon says, there's no such thing as guilty pleasures. If you like something, like it. The next book is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. I think this book isn't just about a new way of thinking about productivity. It's a great guide how to deal with the unknown. And it's about diving into the unknown instead of having everything under our control, which we will actually never have. Oliver says that fear is always part of the deal. Anxieties might arise while we're on the right path. Fears of never succeeding in pleasing our parents. Our very limited influence on how things will unfold in the future. And rather than facing these challenges, we engage in avoiding strategies. We will fill our minds with busyness and distractions to numb ourselves emotionally. And the first great idea Oliver describes is the more you succeed in fitting everything in, the more commitments you actually make. What this can mean is that you have to choose which roles to fail at. For example, if you want to see your children grow up, the chance you might be the very best CEO of all time that works 16-hour days might not be possible. And the other way around, if you want to be the best CEO of all times, there might be conflicting goals with seeing your family all the time. So finding what really matters to you, focusing on that, and being okay with failing at other roles changed the way I feel about all the options out there. And it actually got me in a state of feeling much less overwhelmed, because it's okay to fail at some roles. And also, life is a rhythm. At some point you will succeed at role A, and at some point you will succeed at role B. And this directly leads us into the second idea, become a better procrastinator. The core challenge isn't to fit everything in, but deciding most wisely what to procrastinate on and to feel peace with that. And the principle number one here is pay yourself first. This can be the case for money, but this can be the case for time as well. Make time for the most important things first, and you will see we'll get them all done. If you deal with all the other urgent tasks first, with the hope that there will be time left at the end of the day, you probably will be disappointed. And the hack with paying yourself first is to act like you never actually had that portion of time. This could be working on your most important projects for the first hour of the day. This could be scheduling meetings with yourself to protect your time. And for me, this really works. By paying yourself first, you will get served first, while still being able to complete other tasks as well. And the last book I want to share is Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. This might look like a travel book, but it's much more than that. It's about getting away from the certainties of the world, and it's about stopping to make excuses. And the one really big idea that stuck with me is the willingness to improvise is much more vital than long-term planning. With the parallel to traveling, you will never quite find what you dreamed of. Everything is just much brighter on social media or travel brochures, and you probably will never actually get what you were promised. So it's good to prepare, but if the point actually arrives, open your eyes and see what's right in front of you. So your imagination will give you a motivation to start, but as you keep on going, things will come out different than you think. So you need that attitude to see things you weren't looking for, but are still very good opportunities, and to be in the mindset of really appreciating that. So these were the 4 books that actually helped me to get motivation while being uncertain or being in a rut, and take actual action instead. With that said, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.